Hi folks, this is Keith Berkelhammer and this is Reef Bum TV. Well, unfortunately the tank behind me, my 187 gallon reef tank, is in the midst of a crash. And unfortunately it's due to me fighting some dinoflagellates over the last few months, and really I've tried a whole bunch of different things, but at this point in time I'm going to need to reboot the tank. You know, I tried a 3-day blackout initially, and that worked for a little while, a couple of weeks, but the dinos came back. So then I tried a 3-day blackout in conjunction with hydrogen peroxide. That seemed to knock them back for even longer, but eventually they did come back. I tried to be very aggressive and bring down my nutrients. My nitrates, you know, typically were hovering around 5 parts per million, and my phosphates were around 0. I think that was a false reading because the algae and the dinoflagellates were consuming that phosphate and giving that false reading. So I did try aggressive treatment with GFO to really try to reduce phosphates and eliminate the phosphates in the tank. I did a lot of water changes, and that really didn't seem to help. In fact, at some point it seemed to make it worse. So I guess there's theory out there that water changes could also help dinoflagellate growth, because the trace elements that get replenished in a water change are taken in by the dinoflagellates and helps them to grow. So that's a theory out there. I tried to raise the tank pH. That didn't work at all, really nothing. In fact, the only thing that did do was seize up my return pumps and my recirculating pumps. So, you know, when it rains, it pours. So really in my 20 plus years in keeping reef tanks, I have never encountered this sort of problem in terms of dinoflagellates and trying to eradicate them. So you get humbled after all these years. And so really after all these different treatments, you know, my corals were getting stressed out. I've lost a few SPS, and you know, some others were certainly weakened by all the treatments. So it does take its toll. But you know, what I felt I needed to do was, really I was at a point where I had to take more desperate measures, and usually I don't like to do anything too radical to my reef tank. So I tried a new product called Vibrant. I think it's called Vibrant Aquarium Liquid Cleaner or something to that effect, and that's something that adds some bacteria to the tank to help combat different algae and dinoflagellates. So that worked actually. I was able to get rid of the dinos with the Vibrant. They were no longer there, but then I started developing cyanobacteria, a really bad case of cyano. So I tried natural means to get rid of the cyano, and nothing worked. So what I ended up doing was I had to do a couple of chemi-clean treatments, and that got rid of everything. I mean, no cyano, you know, there was no signs of dinoflagellates. So, you know, I thought things were in a good place, but what that really did was it provided the dinos an opportunity to jump back in, and they did. So I got the dinos back into the tank and into the system. So I was really, you know, pretty much about ready to throw up the raise the white flag after that one, but I tried one more thing. There was some stuff I was reading on one of the forums about Canon Metroplex. And apparently what Canon Metroplex can do is prevent dinoflagellates from reproducing. So all you have to do is go in and remove as many of the dinos as possible, and the Metroplex will keep them from regenerating. It's totally experimental. There's no real scientific evidence, in my opinion, about it. Anyway, I did try that, and from that point on, the tank, it really kind of was in a tailspin. I lost a lot of, you know, that's when I lost a lot of the SPS and the acros. So I wouldn't recommend Canon Metroplex to anybody that might want to go that route. So really where I'm at now is you know, I feel it's time to reboot. I think you gotta kind of know when to throw in the towel and to start over again. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do some different things. I'm going to get rid of all my rock. I'm going to get rid of all of my sand. I'm going to do some really neat re-aquascaping with live rock instead of the dry rock. So I hope you guys, will follow along on my rebuild. And I will be back bigger and better than ever. I'm going to continue to put out YouTube videos. And I'm going to continue to blog on my website, reefbum.com. And it should be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it, actually. I've been in this hobby for too long to fold the tent up. So I look forward to that. And I hope you guys follow along with me. Anyway, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be alerted to all my latest videos. And we'll see you next time.